Hi, I'm DiFrancesco, founder of the LD brand and Dean Street Law, a corporate attorney. I want to share with you the 5 things that you absolutely must have on your website to legally protect your business. These are the essentials, your go-to, your checklist, and everything that you need. So, number 1 being your terms of use. Your terms of use are the rules of the road for how someone operates on your website. This is going to protect your intellectual property. It's going to protect your business from liability. For instance, establishing minimum standards that you have to be of a certain age to access your content, even if it's totally normal content. Someone has to be at least 13 years of age or legally permissible in order to access that content. So it's establishing expectations and saying you are suitable to access our content and here's how you can use our content. You can't use viruses or phishing or anything like that to steal information. You can't misuse our intellectual property. So it's all the rules of the road to protect you and your business, terms of use. Number 2 is your privacy policy. This is required by law. So this is going to enable you to be compliant with law and then also protect you from liability. So consumer protection laws, whether it's the GDPR or other California consumer protection laws, federal consumer protection laws, or statewide consumer protection laws, all require that you have a privacy policy in order to disclaim to your visitors what type of information you collect and how you use their information. This is required for all websites, for all businesses, no matter what, because every single business is collecting data whether they realize it or not. If you have a website, it's hosted somewhere, that hosting software is collecting data about your users, your unique users. If you have Google Analytics, if you have Facebook, if you use cookies, anything like that in your business, which every business does if you have a website, then you absolutely must have a privacy policy that discloses how that information is collected, whether it's shared, who it's shared with, and then also how you're going to protect it. So that is your privacy policy. And then you also have a cookies policy, which is number 3. So your cookies policy is specifically how you're using cookies. So this is again required by law to be compliant with law, and it's also going to protect your business. It's going to be talking about what types of cookies that you collect, how you collect them, how you use them, and letting consumers know that they have the right to opt out and how they can opt out, and providing procedure for them to be able to do so. So those are 3 so far of the top 5 things that you need in your website to legally protect your business. The next one is going to be an accessibility statement. Number 4, so accessibility statements are really important. If you think about ADA compliance, so this is enabling you to comply with the Americans with Disability Act. So this is protecting people with disabilities. That could be hearing disabilities, visual impairments, or any other type of disabilities. We used to have physical spaces, right? This is Flourish, this is my physical space. And so as a physical space, we have to comply with Americans with Disability Act. So does our website. Our website is now our storefront, and that also has to comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act. And in order to have ADA compliance, you have to have an accessibility statement sharing what type of accessibility features you have, as well as how you can be contacted in order for someone to let you know that they need additional assistance or accessibility. Essentially, this is really helping to position you as a company that is inclusive and accessible, and it's also going to protect you from liability because it's giving them an avenue to contact you and to be able to resolve any accessibility issues before reporting it. So that is number 4, an accessibility statement. Number 5 is your disclaimers. So disclaimers are really important to protect you from liability in your business. So a disclaimer could be if you are a health coach, making sure that it's disclaimed that it is anything that you share on your blog is educational information and it's, not in place of doctors' recommendations or anything like that. If you, like me, are a lawyer and are sharing educational content like this, you include a disclaimer to show that it's educational and not meant to, replace legal advice as well. So there's all different types of disclaimers depending on your specific type of company, your industry, what you're doing that you would need to disclaim. There's also things like product disclaimers. So product disclaimer is going to disclaim liability for certain uses of products. So if you have a skateboard and you are, selling it for skateboarding and then someone decides to skateboard off a roof, you don't have liability because you did not say that your skateboard would be able to fly off a roof and land safely, right? So product disclaimers are important as well. That's an exaggeration, but an example nonetheless. So those are your top 5 things that you absolutely must have on your website to legally protect your website. I'm gonna add number 6 and I'm gonna add number 7. So these are bonuses, but very much recommend. And actually, I'm going to amend it. These are your top 7 things that you need on your website to legally protect your business. So number 6, you definitely also want to have your intellectual property protections. So your website is copy. It's written material that you have the intellectual property rights to. So you always want to copyright your intellectual property. And one of the things that you can do to put people on notice that you have the ownership of those assets is to include a copyright notice. And other types of notices are the trademark notice. So if you have something trademarked like your name or your brand or your slogan, you include an R next to it, registered trademark. If it's not a registered trademark, but it's your proprietary information, you can have the circle with a T, that's trademarked. And then of course, if you're generally copywriting your website, then you're going to have the C with a circle. So the distinction is a trademark are your branding assets, your creative assets. So your logo, your name, your slogan, your tagline, those types of pieces. Your copyright is your written materials. So workbooks, website, your emails, anything written that you have, that's copyrighted. So if you have a name of a course or something like that, you'll include a T with the circle if it's unregistered trademark, and then an R with the circle if it's a registered trademark. And then if you are showing your protection for your website or workbook or email or something like that, it's a C with a copyright symbol. And then there's also a whole formula to it. I'll include it right here so that you can see what the formula is, and I'll include it in the description box below so you can see what the formula is. So that's protecting your intellectual property. And then number 7, the big juicy number 7, is going to be making sure that you have contracts that apply for your sales of different products or services that you have on your website. So whatever it is, you want to make sure that those contracts are accessible prior to purchase, and ideally that someone opts in when they do purchase something so that they're agreeing to your terms and conditions related to the sale and they have notice of it in advance of that purchase. And that means that if you have automatically effective contract there, then you're going to be protecting yourself and your business by making it automatically effective with the purchase. So that could be so many different, products, services, combination of both. So you want to have a specific custom contract based on what you need for that service or product and whatnot. I have all of these in the shop. I actually have a whole website bundle that is going to include the terms of use, the privacy policy, the cookies policy, the disclaimers, and the accessibility statement, as well as more. So it's going to include all the contract templates that you need. It's going to have videos guiding you through how to customize them, easily implement them in your business, get your business up and running, and then compliant with law, number 1, which is super, super important. And then of course, also protecting yourself from liability, which is the most important thing that you do as you grow your business, is have a solid foundation, because law is the framework of business. If you're not familiar with me, I am a corporate attorney. I have my own law firm, Dean Street Law, where I have negotiated hundreds of multi-million and multi-billion-dollar transactions. I am the top of the field for negotiating transactions, and I've created the creme de la creme of contract templates. These are customizable, easy to implement, and affordable, so that you don't have to hire an attorney and spend thousands of dollars to legally protect your business. I've included a discount code below, but there are only 20 spots to use it. Only 20 people can use this discount code, so I've included it below, all of the information on how to use it. So if you'd like to purchase the website bundle and legally protect your business, you can do so by clicking the information below and clicking the link below. And then I also have the shop, which has contract templates, it has legal courses, and everything that you need to protect your business. So when we got into those terms and conditions of your sale, whether it's a product or a service, those will be in the shop since they are customized to what industry you're in, whatever you're selling as well. So all of that's in the shop. If you have any questions about how to legally protect your business, feel free to leave them in the comments below of this video. I'd be happy to answer them, or you can email me as well. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe this video so that you can see more. Let me know if it was content that you liked and found helpful. Of course, join the channel. I have so much more that I share here, as well as in the Vault, which is 24/7 access to your legal mentor, and so much more across all of my social media platforms as well. So I hope you have a great day, and thank you so much for joining me.